The Adventures of Batman.
Welcoming you to the new adventures of Batman.
Welcome to episode 29 of Batmanimation, a Batman on Film podcast exploring the animated adventures of the Caped Crusader. I'm your host, BOF senior contributor Ryan Lauer, and joining me today is a fellow BOFer, a longtime BOFer, who I got to meet actually at the BOF watch party down in Texas, and he somehow manages to have a guest spot on every episode of the Straight Outta Gotham podcast. It's Mr. Steve Helm. Hello, Steve.
How's it going, man?
Going great. Good to see you. We've talked through the internet since, but it's good to see your face and talk to your face. I guess face to screen to face.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You find everything at your target before any of us see anything at our targets. So we're a little jealous on that. You've got the best target in the country, I think.
It's pretty good. I have to actually thank my son because he just loves to go to Target all the time. So
yeah,
we're gonna do some shopping while we're there.
He's a good boy. Yeah, let's check the toy aisles for you, son. Not me, for you. Wink.
Yeah, he's actually more into getting a PlayStation card or something.
Oh, okay. Let's just swing by the toys. They're right there.
Yeah.
It only makes sense to, as I know Javi a few episodes ago with Bill explored a Flash Batman team up episode from Brave and the Bold, Requiem for a Scarlet Speedster, which was episode 27. Here on this one, I was very aware of and wanted to. It was just making sure that I had the schedule opened up to revisit the season 5, episode 5 episode. There we go, of the Batman TV cartoon called A Mirror Darkly, which features the Flash in a special guest episode as we ramp up and get really close to the live action The Flash. This originally debuted on November 3rd, 2007. Steve, do you remember the first time that you watched this episode?
So today was actually the first day that I watched this episode.
Really? All right.
I have the complete series, and I've just slowly been going through, and when I got the message from you, I was right at the end of season 4. So I was like,
perfect.
Cool, so I can jump on a couple episodes and get caught up.
Wow. Well, look at that. The universe is lined up for this, or maybe the Flash was part of it. The multiverse is lined up for this. The Batman I think the first season hit my senior year in high school. So then all remaining seasons, it was while I was in college, it was impossible for me to sit aside time to watch it. So I had to wait for DVD releases. And so I remember I think it was 10 days before The Dark Knight came out. It was a physical release where they re-released a special edition of Batman Begins on Blu-ray that included that Dark Knight prologue with the Joker. They released the Gotham Knights DC animated universe movie, and then they also released season 5 of the Batman. It was a holiday for me, basically. So I went and got all of these, and so I immediately watched this season 5 of the Batman then, and that was the first time I saw it. So and I know that the season, in some people, I heard in the BOF Facebook group some people talking about that fifth season almost was like a Brave and the Bold, which the Flash episode, is that the last one that you've watched of that season then?
Yes.
Okay, so I won't say anything else. But up to this point, you saw him team up with Superman in a 2-parter. You've seen him in Green Arrow, right?
I did see the Green Arrow.
Okay. So you can see that it's starting to become like a little bit of a team up with the Justice League. And the Flash one, to me, I really looked forward to, because I do feel like Batman and the Flash is a great team up if Batman's going to team up with somebody from the Justice League.
But yeah, there's always been a pretty good dynamic between Flash and Batman going back to the Justice League cartoons back in the day. So, it's only fitting that they have an episode in the new ones, or newer ones.
Newer ones, yeah. I guess I'm surprised that in this episode, what we see is somebody is stealing parts to build this big machine that is basically going to put Gothamites into their like reflection into the mirror. Of course, that then reveals that the villain is Mirror Master. I'm surprised because I haven't watched this episode in quite a while. I'm surprised that Mirror Master is the member of the Rogues that they chose for this. You know?
Yeah. So honestly, I didn't know a lot about Mirror Master. My only, when I was a kid, when the Flash TV show came out, right after Batman '89, pretty much, I would watch it, and then there was actually a store down the road that the only comics that they sold was the Flash. So I started reading those. But so I knew Grodd, I knew a couple of other ones, but never really anything about Mirror Master. So I was like, who is this guy?
So your fandom with the Flash is that 90s series and then some comics here and there?
Yeah, because I was really confused when I went from Barry Allen to Wally West in the comics at that point. So I was like, who's this guy, Wally?
Who is this? Jeff Johns? Mine, actually, my fandom for Flash, I dressed up as the Flash before I ever dressed up as Batman. I have a picture in some Flash pajamas, which has a really great little, like, helmet to put on, too. I mean, it was made out of soft cotton, and it's got the little lightning bolts on the ears, a little Velcro to strap under my chest. And I've got a picture of that somewhere. And yeah, I dressed up as a Flash before Batman, but also, I mean, I've read some of Jeff Johns' stuff, some Francis Manapul. I'm very aware of the Flash, and I like the Flash a lot. And I'm very aware of the Rogues, but as far as like, give me the names of all the Rogues and, you know, storylines that they've done, I'm no expert, you know. So
Mirror Master, no idea who he was.
Well, and here we get Samuel Scudder, voiced by John Larroquette.
Yeah, so John Larroquette, the guy from Night Court.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah.
Good old Dan Fielding from Night Court. I thought he had a great voice. Well, he has a great voice anyway, but I think he has a great voice in this cartoon.
Right. Yeah, he was really good. I was surprised it was him. I'm thinking, oh, Dan Fielding, who's the ladies' man.
Yeah, and I think what was really fun for this episode. So, of course, I can say that I was surprised they chose Mirror Master, but I think that added some elements that made this episode fun, in the sense of the first confrontation is Batman taking on a Batman. The second confrontation is taking on the Flash. The third confrontation, Robin's fighting Robin. And I think, but it's like the opposites, because it's the reflection angle and aspect. So that dips in a little bit of more of the fantastical element that this show kind of, you know, geared itself a little more towards. But I thought that was a fun element in choosing Mirror Master.
Yeah, because then you get to that point where they're just fighting themselves, it seems like. And it was, you know, one good thing about it was you really didn't know what was going on in this episode until he finally said what he was going to do.
Yeah.
You're like, man, what is this guy doing? You know, he's stealing a diamond at first, and then there are these lenses, and and then getting everybody's reflection. That was okay.
Yeah, I mean, did you like that? Did you like the episode overall?
I liked it. I mean, it was a fun episode, you know. Flash is always kind of like I don't want to say goofy in the cartoons, but, you know, Justice League, the Batman, you know, he's always a little goofier, the goofier superhero, you know. This one, he talked really fast.
He really did. And I kind of thought of all the things that we know that the Flash can do. He did hint at it a little bit of like his motion, how he can go through things. But otherwise, it just kind of felt like all he brought to the table in this episode was just his speed. You know, and I think issues and Flash stories now goes a lot more in depth. But I kind of don't mind the fact of going to basic. Flash is fast, and that's what he's bringing to the table. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, the Flash is would be a really good sidekick, I guess, but yeah, other than just the speed factor in this story, there wasn't a whole lot else. There's no time travel.
Yeah, which I wouldn't need it for this. I don't think. I'm just, this episode to me overall was fun. Definitely felt more like for the audience of targeting like kids, and for that, Flash doesn't need more than what he brought to the table. I know an element that I forgot about for this episode was that Robin was heavy in this episode, and man, this Robin annoyed the hell out of me. Like when he debuted in this series I liked actually what they did. And I know Pete and Bill have talked on Batmanimation, the Batgirl introduction on this show. I actually liked the Batgirl, the actress, the stories that she was in and stuff. With Robin, he got on my nerves fast. And I think here too, I know it was leaning towards being like for kids. He felt with his comments, little 60s Burt Ward, but I was like, eye rolling to me. I just I don't really care for this Robin in the show.
Yeah, it's definitely a show geared towards kids. I remember when it came out, it was actually 2 years before Batman Begins came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it debuted in 2005. So even just a few months before Begins hit theaters. Maybe 2004. Yeah. I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, 2003, I think, maybe.
Thank you, Google. 2004. There we go. 2004.
Yes, I remember, reading that it was coming out and seeing some stills of it or whatever. And I was kind of looking forward to it. And I remember seeing the first episode on TV. I worked graveyard shift back then, so I got home and it was coming on a Saturday morning. And, it was all right. I enjoyed it. I like the art of the show. It's really cool. I like the theme, the original theme. I didn't like the second theme as much, but I didn't really keep up with it until it came out on the DVDs, and then I started watching it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did buy some toys back then. I had the little controller you could plug into your TV, and it had some of the Batman games on it.
Oh yeah, that. Oh my gosh, I never had that one. I remember it though. But I was in college, so I was very much like, I can't buy action figures because like I don't have money. Yeah, oh my gosh, I forgot all about that. I wonder if that's on eBay and affordable.
I want to say I found it a while back and tried to plug it in and see if it still worked, but I guess I left some old batteries in it.
Oh, wow.
It, yeah.
Well, then probably not. I think so. A couple of we highlighted John Larroquette as Mirror Master on this. Reno Romano was the voice of Batman / Bruce Wayne in this whole series. I really like his Batman voice. I think he does a really good job. I don't think there's much of a difference between his Batman and Bruce Wayne. I mean, just a little bit, I guess. But
a little hint. It just goes a little deeper.
Yeah, but overall, it doesn't necessarily bother me. Because I just really like him in this show. Evan Sabera, I don't know his history. He does Robin. I mean, he's just like, I don't know. He's a little kid doing Robin voice. And I'm sure kids probably enjoyed him. Alistair Duncan as Alfred, who I like him as well. And he's popped up outside of this series as Alfred. The Long Halloween. And then Charlie Schlatter did the Flash, and he's got a good history of he's shown up in Justice League Action voicing the Flash. He was actually in Superman the Animated Series voicing the Flash. He's got a lot of voice work, and where he has gotten to continue his voice of the Flash. And like you said, here it's different than, you know, like the Justice League cartoon where Michael Rosenbaum did the Flash. In Flashpoint, the animated movie, I forget who voiced him. I'm going blank right now, but I mean that's almost like a more mature, darker kind of voice. This definitely has that kid element, and like, I'm here talking fast, and I'm here to, and that's supposed to be part of like the, you know, some humor and lightheartedness in it too, especially when it shows up in the back of me. I'm really hungry. I really want
Dude, it sounded like they recorded him talking and they just kind of sped it up times 2.
Yeah, let's speed it up just a little bit here. Do you have any kind of like parts here? I guess you say like maybe like a favorite part of this episode, something that you really enjoyed.
One part that kind of stuck out to me was after they had fought the Mirror Batman, they go to the next, you know, this place got broken into, so they're going to, him and Robin are going to check it out.
Yeah.
And Robin's like, what do you say? I can't wait to kick Batman's butt.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's kind of funny.
You like that? And then what do you, he like does like a look up at Batman. Did you say like no offense or sorry or something like that? Yeah.
Sorry, no offense.
I'll always take a good visit to the Batcave. So I liked how it was like first incident back to the Batcave, second incident back to the Batcave. But I like the confrontation at the end. I think it can always be pretty cool. So now, I think we're in an age of, and have been for a while, of like movies and stuff that we in action, we really need to go super slow motion. I kind of like when things are like in real time though, and it's just as big of an impact. So when I forget the henchwoman's name to Mirror Master, but she's shooting something at Flash, and it's just in real time, but you're seeing every single thing go by him as he's just like zipping to left, right, you know, dodging all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, like that part, I actually really liked because it just showed like in real time, this is how fast the Flash is. It wasn't slowing down to see him be like, oh, look at this thing coming, I'll move it. It's just pew, 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 pew.
Right.
Kind of fun to me.
Yeah. Flash is yeah. That's a good point, because now you watch a movie to, you know, show the Flash, or even in the, what was it, the X-Men movies?
Mm-hmm.
What's the Flash guy?
Yeah, Quicksilver.
Yeah. They slow everything down, and these guys are just moving like regular speed. So it's kind of
more impressive to me to just have it in real time, and you see how fast and moving, and that's just like, oh shit, that's fast. That's fast. This may or may not be the last time, Steve, that you see the Flash in the Batman. I'm just saying. Yeah. I don't know if you do looking ahead or anything like that, but I know you're in the home stretch of this series, and so you may or may not see him again. I don't know. I didn't comment though. Some more credits, some little nuggets here as we start to wrap up. Of the episode itself was written by Stephen Melching, who's also done episodes of Batman the Brave and the Bold, the early 2000s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episodes. He did, counting this one, 11 episodes of the Batman. So he was pretty familiar to this style, this area. And it was directed by Christopher Berkeley, who actually was a co-director on this year's Batman the Doom That Came to Gotham. He also did 8 episodes of the Batman, and then he's got a lot of credits of doing like storyboards and stuff for a lot of the DC animated universe movies. So that's always fun to find too, of like you see someone who is heavily involved in a lot of this stuff, and because it's all connected, as we always know with Batman film.
It is all connected.
It's all connected. Steve, do you have anything else you want to say about this episode?
Yeah, I mean, like the plot of it, you know, Mirror Master, he wants to all of a sudden everybody wants to attack Gotham City for some reason that I've noticed in this season. Because you had before that you had Lex Luthor coming after it, blah 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 blah. So Mirror Master comes in. He wants to put everyone in Gotham in a reflection, and then he wanted to take the 100 richest people's reflection and hold them for ransom.
So yes, okay. I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's what I was going to go with. I was going to go, and I don't know why I got sidetracked. I was surprised that Mirror Master is the one of the rogues, because usually Captain Cold is the leader of the rogues. So you'd almost feel like, oh, take that, or maybe even Reverse Flash or something. And they went with Mirror Master, and also him being in Gotham to me. And this is where my mind can go like, all right, I'll justify it. All these years later, because the people behind the scenes, they need me to justify this. Of maybe that's a whole like, I'm on the Flash's radar in Central City. So maybe by going to another city and knowing Batman doesn't have superpowers, that I can accomplish this, which I guess he did accomplish, but I don't know. That surprised me too a little bit. But Batman's not off visiting these other cities. So I don't know. I guess it just kind of surprised me that you would bring another one, but we've already seen that too of they're coming to Gotham. Batman's not going to the other cities. So I guess that fits.
Yeah. Even the episode before that with the Green Arrow, it was I can't remember the guy's name.
Vertigo?
Vertigo.
Yeah.
He's in Gotham, so they're all coming to Gotham. But so my question is, if everyone's in a reflection other than Batman and the Flash at this point, who's going to pay the ransom?
Washington, D.C. Who doesn't negotiate with terrorists? So, man, they're lucky that Batman and Flash didn't get sucked into those mirrors.
Right, because then they're like, oh, man, this was all for nothing. Everyone's in the reflection. They don't have access to their bank accounts.
This is a waste of time, waste of energy, waste of efforts. Gotham City sucks. Not coming back here again. That highlighted another thing too. I did like for a brief moment where Batman was like in the reflection, and you got a peek of in that, and it was I forget what the painting is. The famous painting that is, the stair, just nothing but staircases like going around and around. And I liked how it took us into that, and we got to see that. It was brief, I know, because I didn't need a lot of time in there either, but I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. So I haven't seen every episode of like Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, but there hasn't been a Flash animated show. So when he can pop up in some stuff, because I've liked the character a lot, and bring some of his Flash material. So what the villain does, Flash being fast. That's fun to me. This episode wasn't deep by any means. I wouldn't say it's the strongest written episode of this show or anything like that, but it is just like a very easy and comfortable 20 minutes to watch.
Yeah. It was just a little fun episode to watch. Like I said, wasn't really deep. It wasn't anything you're like, oh my God.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. Oh, they're in the mirror. No.
Yeah.
But no, it was cool, and a lot of the episodes in this show are kind of like that. There's very few that were just like deep episodes, most of them just, like I said, little 20-minute kid shows for the most part.
Yes, that us full-grown adults are watching and talking
that
about.
We're still watching to this day.
I gotta ask though, since you're going through this show, what streams to mind has been your favorite so far episode?
I don't know. I enjoyed the first episode, the first season. I enjoyed, or maybe started lingering into the second season. But the whole arc with Clayface, that was probably the best part of the series so far. because it was his friend, and then
Yeah.
becomes Clayface, and later on he tries to come back and redeem himself, and I think some other dude ended up getting Clayface. So, but it was
their substitute Two-Face story, basically. Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, but there's some, this series did a lot of things different with the characters.
Mhm.
It wasn't your traditional Riddler in it, not your really traditional Joker. It was kind of its own thing. So
Yeah.
I think it's probably more appreciated now than it was when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Just being a little different.
Yeah.
But I always liked the art of it. It seems like this is the last kind of animated show that I've seen where they had a distinct style of art. It seems like stuff after it just all kind of looks more anime, style. All kind of looks the same to me, or just not very good. As far as stuff on TV,
Sure.
the DC animated stuff is always good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a fan of this show from the start, and then was just eagerly excited for when each season got released on DVD, because then I knew I could actually binge it and get through something. It stands out to me. It's not the best Batman animated show. I know that.
Right.
Not the best Batman content ever created. I know that, but I do have respect for it, because I think the people behind the scenes they had fun with it. They made it, like, it was entertaining for sure. And I don't mean that in any kind of slight in a negative way at all. It's like, I don't know. I think it's a good show. It's a fun show. It respected the character. It didn't diminish the value of the character or anything like that. So yeah, enjoy the remaining 7 episodes, probably 8 episodes that you have. Enjoy it, Steve.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I like the Batwave.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. He had 2 different Batmobiles in it. Came out, had the Batbot. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in this show.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been fun. Kind of, I haven't been binging it or anything. Instead, I've been a couple episodes here, a couple episodes there, as I'm have nothing else to do, or I get off work or something.
Sure.
And I got some time to kill. But
yep.
It's a good show.
Yeah. I think that's a good end cap for it. It's like, yeah, it's a fun show. It's a good show. So, Steve, thanks for sitting aside a little bit of time talking some Batman and Flash as we inch toward the Flash.
Yes.
So,
how excited are you for?
I'm excited for it. My expectations are in check, because I don't want to put anything way too high that it's unreachable. But I look forward to it, and the positive word of mouth. And I know that Bill's review is now on Batman on Film, and he gave it a good review as well. So, and a lot of times with Batman stuff, it lines up pretty close to his, in the same neighborhood. So yeah, it's good to hear. And I know Ryan Haas saw it, and I think he has nothing but good things to say. Their spoiler-free review or discussion of the movie is available also now on the BOF podcast feed. So check that out, which I will when we're done recording. So do you have anything that you want to plug away or anything like that?
The only thing I've got coming up is, just over on SOG, just kind of.
There you go.
I've been making some little recaps over the greatest show on the CW right now, Gotham Knights.
Right.
I do some little recaps over there, and then I guess in a few weeks when the season's over, me and Pete and Eric will do a little recap show of the whole season. So if you didn't watch the season, you can learn all about it then.
There you go. You guys will give the highlights, give some of the strengths. So excellent. As for me, new episode of my podcast, The Batman Book Club, is up. Bill always graciously posts those on Batman on Film, so listen wherever you listen to podcasts, or just go to batmanonfilm.com and you will find it there, as well as a review of the latest issue of Batman, number 136, also on Batman on Film. So just go to batmanonfilm.com. Straight Out of Gotham, that's also on batmanonfilm.com. So there you go. Everything, it's all connected. So for Steve, I am Ryan, and we will now let announcer Rachel take us out.